Hey Virgo, how you guys doing? First time we're talking here. Sorry I didn't get to your video for the full moon, but making you guys a priority this time because I want to talk to you. We're sister signs, right? I'm a Gemini. We're both ruled by the same planet, Mercury. And it's weird because Virgos can be difficult for me sometimes, right? But ultimately, like, you guys have so many great qualities. Like, I really want to get into what you can expect to happen for this new moon in Libra, right? So, new moon in Libra is kind of bringing around balance, attention to relationships, beauty, creativity, that kind of thing, right? I never introduced myself, just in case you guys are wondering. My name is Chris. I'm going to be reading with the Light and Shadow Tarot here. And then also at the end, I'll do some clarification with the Nature Nurture Oracle. All right. So I feel like that was kind of necessary, a little introduction, because like I feel like it's important that we get on that friend vibe here, right? That's how I want to talk to you guys. The new moon in Libra is going to be kind of making you guys take a look at your inner worth, right? Virgo, you guys are such a material sign. Sometimes can borderline a bit superficial, right? It's all about the appearance, right? Status and looks and like looking like money, which is awesome, which is why you're so attractive. But the Libra new moon is bringing balance, right? And for you guys, what is going to be highlighted is sort of the balance between your outer worth and your sense of inner worth, right? Look what we got right here, the Seven of Pentacles. Talking about worth, right? Like, this is somebody who's kind of waiting for their payoff. But it's difficult, it's long, it's hard, it's a struggle. And right now, where I feel like this guy's relating to you guys is like, maybe if the outer world isn't paying off as much as you wanted to, it's like really bringing you down and not making you feel good, which is exactly what I was going to be talking about here, which is finding that inner worth, right? Recognizing and affirming that your bank account doesn't define who you are, right? And this might mean you guys have been struggling a little bit, right? The Seven of Pentacles is like, okay, things might be coming, but it also means like things haven't been so easy. Or at least like the seeds you've been planting haven't fruited as much as you hoped they would. Right? And sometimes this card indicates to me like, let it all go. You know, like it's not going to pay off, so just move along. But what I think right now for you is like to practice patience. Right? Like you guys can be pretty critical. You guys can be pretty harsh, right? With other people, but also with yourself. I think that's what makes you so critical with other people sometimes is like you nitpick yourself in everything you're doing and like looking like perfection and being perfection. That when you're not, like look where it gets you stuck, right? But have heart, Virgo. Like I really feel deeply like even though you're not feeling great about where things are right now, like this is promising to me about where things are going. Right? And it's not about focusing on making those things grow. It's about dealing with like what this guy is going through right now. It's about learning to deal with these emotions, like that harsh inner talk. Like Virgo, for this moon, like Libra is asking you to kind of sweeten yourself up, right? With the new moon, we're laying potential for the future. We're making plans where it's all about potential. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with like not being where and what you want it to be, or where you want it to be and what you want it to be at this point, because like it's a brewing, right? It's coming. Like, what did I just say? Like, it's coming. Like, what a prominent Virgo energy, the King of Pentacles. He is like the master manifester. Right? He just feels so Virgo to me right now. You know what I mean? Like like just being adorned with like riches and like beautiful things. Like look at how he's dressed, look at what's on his back. Like he has this giant pentacle on his back. He's like good money. He's set, right? Like this is what you guys are capable of making things grow like that, right? You're really good with the material world. So like I feel like I want to say to give yourself some credit right now. Like you're kind of intuitive, right? Like you for an earth sign, like you're kind of a feeling sign. You're a little sensitive. So again, like be gentle with yourself, be sensitive with yourself. Turn off that critical eye for just a little bit. Like try to find acceptance and make peace with how things are the way they are now, right? And you have to do that by making peace with yourself. Like, yes, he's looking for the things to fruit, but look what comes next. It's a card that embodies a personality and a spirit, like a human energy. This is like what is possible if you guys just like remind yourself of who you are. Like it's kind of like that if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else kind of thing. Like it's true. Like I said before, sometimes when we're most critical with ourselves, it's because, or other people, it's because we're like that with ourselves, right? Like Virgos, you guys have super high standards for things, which is great, but also makes you a little hard, right? It makes you cut a little bit. That's what I think Gemini and Virgo have in common sometimes. Like we can cut with our words. We're ruled by Mercury. Like we say the truth as we see it. The Tower. Like this is just to me kind of like doubling down in a way I don't want to on this whole idea of like getting ready to stick through it, right? This is just like Virgo, if you want to be mean, if you want to be cold, if you want to be harsh, if you want to lash out, like this is pushing you there, right? The Tower is all about sort of like the world as you know it crumbling down, right? False foundations. But what I love about this card and what I feel like is right for you is that emphasis on false foundations, right? Like this is not true. This is not honest. When the Tower falls, it's because there's not a strong foundation. And so maybe you've been chasing some material things that like are getting you kind of nowhere, right? And maybe what this moon might bring out for you is like all those trappings aren't like that fulfilling. And you're like, wait, if I have all these beautiful things and I have this beautiful life, like why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this way? Like I can clearly see that things are coming, but I still feel this way. Does that make sense to you guys? Like it's really important to like have that sweet self-talk with yourself, like to be kind with yourself, to be gentle with yourself, right? Like it's so cliche to talk about loving yourself, right? It sounds like such fucking new age fluffy bullshit. But when you think about it, like think about the way you talk to a loved one when they're going through something difficult, when they fail, when they fuck up, right? Like maybe you're honest, but you're like soft with them. Way softer than you are with yourself, right? Or the reverse, like you're hard with them because you're so hard with yourself. But I feel like for you guys especially, like when you get to that place of self-love, like so much is possible. Like that's when things really start to happen for you, right? Like the King of Pentacles, what comes before him is the Queen. He's like a grower, but she's kind of like a nurturer, right? Like she makes things ripe. She makes things feel full. Like there's more heart there. Like this is heart, but like very, very like outward. And then you get next the Fool. Like, I love seeing a card like this come up after a card like this, where you have these endings and this like shit's just crumbling and it fucking sucks. And then what comes next is like reckless abandon, like this freedom. Like, have you guys ever had that feeling in your life when something you thought you really wanted doesn't work out, like a relationship or like a bid for a house or whatever it might be, and then like after it doesn't work out you feel like so relieved because maybe all along it wasn't really like what you wanted all that much, right? Like, not saying you don't want these fruits to ripen, but like, is that what's gonna make you feel good? You know? But here's a new start. Right? Like, Uranus is opposing this new moon in Libra. And what does that mean? Uranus is a boundary pusher. It's a shit stirrer. It likes to shake things up. But not just for the sake of it, like to shake things loose, right? Things that you don't need or things that like are important for you. Like maybe that have been buried deep inside, like they're getting shaken up. Shaken up. Shake it off. Shake it off. Oh, I'm quoting Taylor Swift and I need to move on. Oh, Lord. Okay, Virgo, Two of Wands. I think this is a nice sign for you. Two of Wands is all about, like, decisions and, like, options. And, like, getting in touch with what you want. That's what I feel like for you guys, like, getting in touch with what you want. Right? Well, remember what I said about like false foundations, like getting shaken loose? Having like this fresh start, and then like what comes next? A time of reflection. A time of like really getting to know yourself and being sweet with yourself and being kind with yourself. And like giving yourself like the nourishment that makes this stuff grow, right? Or if not make it grow, like makes it fulfilling, makes it like get ripe and delicious, right? To further the metaphor. Now I mean, like, you're gonna have a lot to think about. This isn't really a time for acting, Virgo, for you guys. From now till the full moon in Taurus next month, this is about going inward. Which actually the Libra new moon has been bringing out for a lot of the signs. Because remember, this isn't about being balanced, this is about balancing. And that's not easy, right? Balancing means kind of like doing the opposite of what you've been doing. That's comfortable and familiar. And twos are about a lot of balance, and this is about balancing. Like right now you see like the orchid and the rose, or lily and the rose. It's about like the sweetness with the harshness. I know that's not exactly what like these flowers mean, but right now that's what it's looking like to me. Like that's what, like, this is what you need to like embody. This feels like super Virgo to me right now, like pretty and soft. And yeah, like a rose is arguably like prettier. I don't know, it depends what you think, but like it's seen as just like a symbol of beauty, right? But like right now, guys, like take a step back and get a little softer. Go deep, go inside yourself, right? Find the place where these two things meet for you. And don't necessarily act from it, but kind of like sit there and reflect on it and feel the warm, good, mushy feelings. Like, feel mushy, Virgo. Like, you know you like it. right? Like, you're an earth sign, you act a little like tough and cold, but I think you like the warm fuzzies. I think that's why you're represented by the Virgin, this sort of like softness, vulnerable, right? You guys are a very loving sign. You like people, right? You're Mercury. You're a Mercury sign. You do well with people. But you can also like do that other Mercury thing where like you kind of withdraw when you're not feeling good. Like you're super chatty when you're feeling great, and then when you're not, you're like standoffish as fuck and critical as fuck and judgy as fuck. Like, just think about that. Like, I don't want you guys to beat yourself up, but next time you find yourself like ragging on somebody, like ask yourself if it's like maybe to some extent projection. Like, that's what I want you to do, is like go deep, like start reflecting in those ways. Huh, how beautiful. Like, look at this. For your first option, the first path, you have the Empress. Like what better like Virgo, you have Pentacles, you have it's a very earthy reading, right? You have the King of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles, and now the Empress. Like, what better symbol of like that balance I'm asking you to strike, right? Like, the Empress makes things grow. She's like the mother of earth, right? But what else does she symbolize? Like softness, love, nurturing. Like, this is the perfect combo of what I'm talking about here. You know, where like that earthy hardness and that like soft virginness meet in the middle, and then you make someone who can really like go big places. And I was really happy to see the King of Pentacles because he's such a powerful figure, but the Empress is a major arcana card. This is like moving your life forward in real ways. Like, this is gone and now you can finally get here, but like you gotta get, this is in the middle, right? Like, you have the Tower, and then the next step you have the Fool, and then you end up here. Or you can, right? Like, this is a path card. But I want you to end up here. This is like the Virgin fully realized. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's perfect. It's like all the energies of the great, beautiful energies of Libra just flowing out of you guys. The beauty, the grace, the love. This is like also very much so a card of love. And think about like that motherly love, right? It's like that stupid airplane thing where you have to fasten your own like air mask before you can put it on a kid, right? Like, why is she so capable of love? Because she's thriving. Look at her. Look at how like what profundity is in this card. Am I using the right word? Yeah. Fecundity. 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 Right? It's fucking fertile is the point. It's one of those words that like I've only read, so I don't really hear people say, so I'm not like totally clear on how to pronounce it. Anyway, like the word macabre, like I didn't know how to pronounce that because I'd only read it. I thought it was like macabre or something. Anyway, moving on. Fecundity. That I'm pretty sure that's right. Like richness, growth, fertility. She's like swimming in it. You know, she's just like enveloped in it. Because she's given her inner world attention. Right? The same way like so many things in life, like you can grow like and do, like people always complain about how they can't grow plants, and I'm like, it's not that hard, you just kind of pay attention to it. Right? Like, give it water. See if you're giving it too much water. See if you're giving it too much light. Maybe not enough light. All it takes is giving it attention. But what does that attention kind of like require is like concern, right? Like if you want to make the plant grow, if you care about it living, you're going to pay attention to it. But if you don't, if you're not concerned with how it's doing, if you're not concerned with how your heart is doing, how is it going to get better? How are you going to like be this like fruitful person when you're not paying any attention to that part of yourself? You can't. Like there's only there's a limited amount that you can like manifest when you're not like feeling good inside. And then we have the other path, Virgo, death. You know, one of those cards that like you always try to find the positive qualities in, like, oh yeah, like things are ending, but like great new things are coming. Like, I don't feel that for you guys though, right? This just feels like defeat. This just feels like failure in a way that's not like so promising. Like, which is funny because this is kind of like a harsher card in many ways, at least in like a dynamic energy way, right? Like there's nothing like worse that can happen than death, right? But spiritually speaking, this shows promise, where this one is just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But right now for me, for you guys, like this looks more promising. Because from this, like there's a suggestion still of like being able to move forward. When you're here, it's just over. So this to me is like, look at these two choices, right? What did I say about the Seven of Pentacles in the beginning, right? Sometimes it could be about the fruit not really being worth it, the time or the effort, or sometimes it could be about like being patient. Look what you have is the two paths here, guys. Like, do you see what I see? One path leads to the fruit dying on the vine. The other path leads to it being nurtured and grown until it's ripe and delicious. Death, your efforts wasted, or life. You see? Does that make sense to you guys, what I'm saying to you? Does that make sense? This can go one of either way. It can go one of two ways. Bottom of the deck. Three of Wands. Like this feels really good for me with you guys. Like this feels really, really good. It's a good card, right? It's all about, to me, like promise and optimism and hopefulness and like looking out in the distance and all that good stuff to like the future. But like this is to me like optimism, right? This is like that little spark in you guys that I feel like is going to keep you kind of keep you motivated, right? Like, remember what I said about caring? Like you nurture something when you care about it. Like this is that, because I think you guys want a lot. I know you want a lot out of life. And you know you want a lot out of life. Blah, blah, lot, whatever. I'm fumbling my words. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is hope. This is like, when you spend time here reflecting on what you want, like, this is what you come to the conclusion of. I want to be out there. I want to sail the fucking seven seas. I want to, like, get out there. I got that Aries energy that just wants to go and move and act and do things. It's beautiful, Virgo. I feel really, really good. But like, again, all of this, like the moons push us in the right direction, but we have to do the work. Right? And again, because the reason we do these new moon readings and like in like more pagan spiritualities focus on the moon and the moon cycles is because this energy is present. And maybe one way or another people feel it and can also tap into it. Right? So when when we're talking about this stuff right now, it's like this is what's available to you. right? You could do a reading on any day of the week and get some answers or get some like guidance, right? But this is pointing to like very powerful energy that's available to you, and you have to do the work. Virgo, like it's going to be hard or it's going to be easy depending on how willing you are to embrace the work. Judgment, like resurrection, like a new life, like how much better is this than this? Like this could lead to this, but I don't think so. I feel like right now this is saying like a new life is waiting for you, right? A new life is waiting for you, Virgo. Like the life of your dreams. But like stop chasing bullshit. Stop chasing bullshit. Like focus on the heart and then the riches will come. Focus on being soft with yourself and then that love will come and then the outer love will come. Like, and don't act like you don't like love. Of course you do. King of Wands. I wasn't sure how I felt about this at first, but now this is feeling like Wands to me, that fire energy is very internal, right? It's like the fire in the belly. It's like the thing that drives you, right? And the King of Wands is all about like focus and determination and just like not breaking away from your path. And that's kind of boo. And King of Wands, what I'm saying is like this is you at your best. Like this is that mix of like determination and grit to, this is what I was just saying about the work. Like doing the inward work, focusing. Like you're not gonna get that though unless you do this part of the work, right? Unless you do the reflection, unless you where'd it go? I think it's bottom of the deck. The Three of Wands, right? Like this is at the end of all that where he knows where he's going and he's got like sure-footed speed and he's just taking off and charging forward. Like this is what comes next. Like the, okay, I kind of did the soft shit. Now let me like get my money. And let me push my career in the way I want it to go. I feel like career is important for you right now, right? Maybe it's been feeling a little stagnant. I don't know where this came from, but maybe work's been a little stagnant. And you need that little extra like bit of life. Know what I mean? I'm going to pull one more card. I feel one more for you guys, and then we're going to do the Oracle. The Oracle is nice. It gives like another little perspective. Sometimes it clarifies what already came up, or sometimes it's just like a different way of looking at things, right? Okay. Because what I feel like I just want to say, like, all this stuff I'm saying, like, if it sounds like I'm talking shit about you guys, it's absolutely not. Like, I want you to be that brilliant Virgo that, like, everyone wants to look at when you walk in a room. Like, I want my friends to be, like, the flossiest person in the room. Who cares about status and getting us into the VIP or going to the nice restaurants or wearing the nice brands or, like, all that good stuff, like helping you decorate because they're going to be like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. You need to fix that. Like, that's kind of good to have in a friend as long as you have that softness where it's not like so critical. Strength, last card. And then, oh, like, come on, guys. Do you see what's coming up here? The Wheel of Fortune? Like, what did I just say about, like, all the riches coming your way as soon as this time is over. Like, just give it a week or two, right? The new moon's energy to me, like, lasts about a week and then it starts to fade out a bit, you know? Like, give it about a week of just, like, practicing super niceness with yourself, because look what comes after. Like, success, like, these fruits ripening, right? Like, this is you, like, just giving it a week, 7 days. Like, give it fucking 7 days, Virgo, of just giving yourself this super extra positive self-talk. Of, like, relaxing, of taking a step back. That's what I think you need to do, is take a step back. Stop, get out of the rat race for a minute. The rat race in your head, and, like, take care of yourself. Like, look at this control. Look at this power. Like, you like control, right? Don't you want that control? Do you want to have, like, the kind of control where you have to, like, hold something real tight? Or, like, this kind of control where she's barely holding it still and it's still under her power? Because, why? Because she is centered. Because she's calm. Because she knows herself. Because she's tender with herself. That's where the strength comes from, like, ironically, right? A little counterintuitively. Some decks I love. I used to have a deck where it was a naked woman with a ribbon tied around a lion's neck, like, just to show how delicate the touch is, right? How vulnerable, like, strengthen that vulnerability, right? Like, I love when people can open up, because it actually shows a kind of strength, right? Like, when they can tell you about themselves, when they can be honest. Sorry, my cat. Then, like, it is really a form of strength. It's a form of control. It's a form of comfort with yourself that's, like, really attractive. Nah, I mean, you know, actually, in all the time I've owned this deck, I think this is the first time that this card has come up. Fire. Action. Like, remember what I said about it being kind of a still point? But, like, bam, what happens after just a little while? Like, you can go forward, like, you can move, right? But to me, fire isn't just action. Like, it's about this too, right? Like, it's about the inner reality. Remember what I said about, like, the wand and the fire kind of being like the spirit, like the fire in the belly, like what comes from within. Like, this comes from within. This is like what I'm saying about nurturing and, like, keeping something, like, giving it attention. Like, the bonfire image is perfect, right? Like, you want it to burn steady. You want it to burn strong. You put too much wood, it's going to burn fast and it's going to burn bright, but it's going to burn out. You put too little, it's going to fizzle out. This is both telling me right now, for you guys, like, take care, maintain the fire, and then you'll be ready to fucking move. Like, what I've been telling a lot of the signs is, like, with the Libra new moon, when I think about balance, it's like getting this foundation, almost like a springboard to, like, go forward. But that's not what was coming up for a lot of the signs, right? It was more about, like, getting steady, getting balanced. Not about the movement forward, but, like, and for you guys it's kind of the same, but look, it's like reinforcing the potential. Know what I'm saying? You know, the rabbit is always kind of a card to me of, like, I always feel very distinctly like it represents, like, challenges from other people. But I think this is with yourself. Like, even if other people test you and push you, like, how you react is going to be a reflection about how you feel about yourself. Know what I mean? Didn't I just seem really proud with coming up with that? Like, I just saw myself and I was like, come on. But really, like, I feel like this suits you perfectly. Like, and this is the first time I've interpreted this card like this. people are going to test you, people are going to push you, but remember, it's about you. Remember what I said about how, like, when you're being critical of someone, if it's like a projection of yourself, that doesn't just mean like, oh, like, she has no money and then like that means you're insecure about your money. It's like, why do you have to be in a place where you tear other people down? Why do you have to be in a place where you can't handle conflict with grace? Always stay gracious, best revenge is your paper. Right? Best revenge is your paper. Why are you gonna do this stupid shit, Virgo? Don't you already think that you're better than them? So why? This isn't about like, I hate like when people like be the bigger person, because it's like, no, fuck you, I want to fight somebody. Like sometimes you like to get petty, but like for this moon right now, again, it's about balance. So if that's how you're used to being, like try something different. So that going forward, you can find the right middle point for you. Of when do you go hard on somebody and when do you kind of like pull back a little bit and let it go. I feel like this is two things, right? Like what I want you to think about is like life as a story. Like what's the story you've lived so far, but what do you want to live in the future? This isn't about necessarily creating the life, but like your attitude towards like the potential of what you can have, right? So where was that card? I don't remember which one I was going to relate it to, but with this one, it's sort of like think about the mark you're going to leave. Think about who you really want to be and how you want to be remembered. Like, not that you're going to die, but like what, like sort of like what you want your reputation to be. Like, what do you want people to think of when they think of you? How do you, the arc is kind of about like communicating. Like, how do you communicate who you are with your tribe? You know what I mean? And I'm going to hold these cards up in a second so you can see what I'm seeing. There's this sort of like, and then what did I say about, like, in the end you have victory, Virgo. In the end you pull off shit that no one even thought you could or knew you could. Like, do you see what I'm saying about these two cards and like how you can be and how that reflects who you are when these situations come up for you? Like, what reputation do you want to have? You can still be strong and still like assert yourself, but like without being a dick, right? Like without being a petty little asshole. Cause like look at the potential that's waiting. Like fuck them. Like you have so much shit that's going on for you that you're gonna make happen. Like you're above it. You're above it, right? Like you're going places. You're about to leave your mark. This is like sort of to me like aligning with your karma, like what I've been saying about like career dissatisfaction or stuff like that. It's like getting on the right path. Getting right with yourself so that you can manifest like what the rest of your life is going to look like. I've said this to all the signs and I'm just going to throw it out there with you guys. Like the bottom of the Oracle deck to me has been like really resonating with the first card that comes out in the tarot. The moon is all about timing and how perfect that this is a moon reading, right? And I'm asking you to be patient. My mom always says something to me that like kind of annoys me sometimes because it's like, yeah, whatever. But like at the same time, like I've seen it be right so much. Like that's like anything moms tell you, right? You're like, yeah, whatever. And then like, you're like, oh shit, like you're right. I should listen to you more. But my mom always says like in divine timing. And that's what I want to say to you, Virgo. Like, if you don't like the divine part, like, it's timing. Be patient. Be easier with yourself. Understand that you're going to take time to be who you want to be. And then when we have the full moon in Taurus, like, you're back in your element. Like, you're getting ready to be earthy. Like, you can say, like, fuck it to all, like, the sappy Libra shit, the all, like, nice guy stuff. Like, but you'll come out of it more balanced, right? Like, you don't have to be so hard about being a nice guy because, like, it'll just have been something that you practiced. So, like, it'll take a little bit of that edge off. Oh, Virgo. I don't know why you're making me, like, have to stretch and sigh. Like, I think that's the first time I've done it for any of the readings. But for you guys, it's like, I just want to kick back in my chair and, like, have a beer, because that was, like, a lot. But it's, like, a lot, guys. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the cards I pulled here, of the 10 cards, are major arcana, which always symbolizes, like, spiritual journeys and major change, major potential for change. And what is the new moon about? It's about potential. Balance. So you guys are going places. Just, like, handle things with grace. You know, like, be easy on yourself. Be patient with yourself. Like, have faith and trust. Trust that, like, things are going to get moving. Like, be still for a second and, like, recognize that in being still, like, you're making this possible. You're making this possible. This is what you're going to come out as. Right? But what can't you not forget, guys? This is so... Like, if there's one card I need you to take away from this entire reading, it's her. You have to embody her. You have to take this energy onto yourself. You have to. Like, you have to do it. I'm making you. Well, I can't. I just really want you to, like, win, Virgo. Because it's possible. And you're cool. We cool. Like, if we're like siblings, like, we fight because we're like siblings, because we're alike and we love each other. Gemini and Virgo. Alright? Well, I really enjoyed reading for you guys. I hope to see you again in 2 weeks for the full moon. And until then, like, enjoy this process of taking care of yourself and feeding yourself from the inside. All right? Peace out, Virgo.